in by Liam Hogan. I suppose you could call what I have locked-in syndrome. I'd ask a doctor, a neurosurgeon perhaps if I could, which I can't, and if they weren't in such short supply. But it's always the way with epidemics. Medical staff get hit hardest. First responders as well, the police and the paramedics and then the army, and finally anyone stupid enough to volunteer. Ah, that would be me. Won't be doing that again. Still, I keep looking for men in white coats, keep wandering the echoing hospital, hoping against hope that I can take control of my errant body for just long enough to impart my message. That's me, not looking to be saved. I figure it's too late for that. The rot, it would appear, has set in, but I'm still looking to save. I was always that sort of girl. 3 blood donations a year, queen of charity cupcake bakes, and of course, stepping forward in a crisis, when I would have been much better off hiding in a cellar with all the other end-of-the-world preppers. But I keep trying to do my best. The problem is, my body won't cooperate. Back when the epidemic started, when it was all new and weird and worrying in a "that can't possibly happen to me" way, can it? Everybody misread the signs. The doctors thought it was a virus that attacked the brain, eating away at the higher processes until just the cerebellum was left, barely enough grey matter to coordinate motion and to seek food. Any food. Anything the afflicted could still manage to open or catch. So, not cans or bottles or anything that needed cooking. They were too stupid and clumsy for that. No dogs or cats or birds either. They were too slow for that. Which only really left other human beings. No wonder the government issued advice to shoot the zombies in the head when quarantine failed, when they ran out of medical staff to investigate the outbreak further. But they were wrong, are wrong. I'm proof of that if I could but tell them, if I could pass on the message. And I assume all the rest of the shambling horde are the same. Active minds locked in the bodies of monsters. You can hardly blame the authorities. It's hard to strap an ECG to someone who's trying to eat you. or is that for the heart? See, that's cardio, isn't it? Or what's the name for the thing they strap to your head? Measures brainwave activity. Well, if you could get one of those onto my skull, it'd light up like a Christmas tree. Because the higher functions aren't dead, they're disconnected. Something is interfering with the way the mind controls the body, the link between that fabulously wrinkled surface and the more primitive and ancient reptilian brainstem. It's not a complete disconnection, I guess, and not quite. There are still signs of intelligence, of humanity. When I lurch towards a victim, that's me, or the mind part of me anyway, trying to give that unfortunate every chance to escape, trying to stop myself, the feral body part of me, doing what it insists on doing. It doesn't work very well, though. I can't control the beastly body. It just makes my movements jerky. Well, more jerky. Slow zombie rather than fast zombie. But it's the best I can do. I can't even close my eyes to not see the grisly end when it comes. And I get to hear it and smell it and ultimately taste it as well. Sometimes, and I hate, truly hate to admit this, I don't even bother to resist until it's too late. Because I know that lesser part of me is only doing what it must to survive. And I know if it doesn't eat, then my brain, the only part that's still truly me, doesn't get fed either. Which, for a former vegetarian, if I could, I'd tell that body of mine how to get food without chasing and hunting and tearing apart other humans, just like I'd used to. I'd tell it how to operate a can opener or what to do with a frozen pizza. But I can't. I'm locked in. So, as my idiot body tumbles a ripped-off head in its gore-slicked hands, staring into its glazed eyes as if trying to work out how to get to the good bits, what my Sheffield University-educated brain is doing is imagining piping chocolate frosting onto cupcakes Paul Hollywood would be proud of. The rest of the Great British Bake Off team bursting into sudden applause and... Did my hands just move together? As if to join in that applause? And did my numb tongue try to whisper a Mary Berry, well done? I do believe. Yes, I'm as elated as if I'd been voted star baker, as if all those hours of cooking and decorating had finally been rewarded. Maybe that's the key. Maybe it isn't my upper brain moving those hands, animating those lips. Maybe it's my muscle memory. Either way, those hissed words, mangled though they were, that movement of hand towards hand, ignoring the raised skull, those almost imperceptible reassertions of my mind's control over my body, they make me want to redouble my efforts to communicate, to pass on this vital bit of information to someone who will understand, who can do something with the knowledge that might, just might, swing things back in mankind's favour. Assuming that there's anyone left to listen. As if in answer to my prayers, there's a clatter from the east wing, followed by a muffled curse. The afflicted might cause a clatter, but I'm pretty sure I've never heard one swear. By now, the unlit corridors of the hospital are familiar to me. I don't even have to check the map as I lurch past reception. I stood before it for senseless hours before now. I think my zombie self likes all the bright primary colours. Well, hospital beige can get pretty depressing, I suppose. The sound came from the neurology department. There are none of the afflicted in there, I know, and I have to date been unable to enter myself. Double doors swinging outwards are apparently totally zombie-proof. And I'm not still entirely sure if the thing that is lurching down the corridor is my zombie body, drawn by sounds that might indicate a walking larder has strayed into the area, in which case I'm probably not going to be the only one to answer the summons, or if my brain is influencing my actions. I look down at my twisted ankle, at the white shard sticking out the side of my oh so sensible flat shoes. It's a good thing I can't feel the pain. That one sense, thankfully, doesn't make it across the neurological divide. Oh, But the noise, the constant grating, the lurid colours as the infection moves up the limb, the sickly sweet smell. Well, that's another matter. The double doors are now propped open by a fire extinguisher, which is either incredibly stupid or incredibly smart. But my body doesn't stop to work out which, and I begin to suspect what little control I have is really rather pitiful. I try to go back to my bake-off moment. I have to concentrate. I have to think. There's a shaft of light in the gloom, a torch, and I almost trip over a loaded trolley. My heart, if it was under my control, would have skipped a beat to see what it was loaded with. A couple of laptops, banks of test tubes, wired equipment that looks like something out of a sci-fi movie. This is obviously not your run-of-the-mill scavenger after food and basic needs. This person has purpose, learning, and a gun. A really rather large gun. I struggle to lift my hands to show that I mean no harm as I lurch towards him as the cannon in his hand shakes. I suppose I should feel more scared. But this is the one. I can feel it. This is the man who can solve the puzzle and maybe cure the illness, or at least stop its spread. Well, what else would he be doing here collecting scientific equipment? All he needs is a sign. All he needs is to know that inside this shambling, blood-splattered, maggot-infested form approaching him is a keen, alive, intelligent brain. That maybe someone like him could learn to work out how to reconnect. I lurch closer, summon all my strength and willpower to drag my finger upwards until it taps the side of my skull. I draw ragged breath, and with Herculean effort, I gasp my one-word message. Braaaaiiiins!